Joining me now to discuss the latest on the markets is Sky News business editor Ticky Fullerton. Ticky, it was a horror morning, but then the markets in Australia recovered fairly dramatically as Scott Morrison was laying out his latest plans. Tell us more about what the markets are doing.
Rita, I am completely exhausted. It was the most extraordinary day. I mean, I've been watching markets for many, many years, all the way back to the 1987 crash, and that, of course, was what the global market drop overnight last night was. It actually was a serious drop, as you had to go right back to 1987 for that to happen. Today, unbelievable. We opened the market, we'll put up a graph now, opened the market, every single stock was down. It went down dramatically, 7-8%, and then it went back up. Do you know, just a couple of minutes ago, we finished up 4.4%, and the last little look at that spike, the last few minutes, it is absolutely extraordinary. Now, part of that could have been the Prime Minister's speech. I suspect there were a couple of other things going on. There's a really lot of weird things happening during the day. One was there was a sort of vaccine article that news.com.au had promoted as some vaccine which was actually going to be available for people in November. That happened at 11:30, so it didn't really react there. Then at 1:30 there was the beginnings of the stories about Nancy Pelosi and Donald Trump agreeing some sort of stimulus. Now, I actually think that this is what has changed the market's view, because internationally as well, so that, New York wouldn't have been looking at Prime Minister's speech, and the Dow Jones futures, they've had an intraday turnaround of 6%. They're up now. So I think it's all about this agreement on a major stimulus package of a virus bill coming out of the US. But I mean, it's been an absolute roller coaster.
Oh, absolutely. So did you just say there the Dow Jones has also finished up?
The futures market, yeah, the futures market has turned up. So I mean, this is really interesting. The sort of roller coaster that we've got now, more than Disney World, which by the way is shut. Did you hear that Disney World was shut? Now it's only been shut, I think, JFK, 9/11, and the California earthquake. So that's JFK. Disney World is shut. But yeah, the markets have just been completely unpredictable. There was a massive bond sell-off here as well, by the way, in the Australian market. No one quite understands why that's happening. But for those that were terrified about what their shares were doing about midday, there's some reprieve, at least by the end of the day. But it is Friday.
It is a Friday the 13th, but it may end up being a good day on the markets. Now, the announcement from the Prime Minister about non-essential gatherings of 500 and more being discouraged, that starts on Monday. How do you see that impacting the markets and businesses in general?
Look, at a very basic level, it's already impacted conferences. It is the conference season, Rita. Conferences are being cancelled left, right and centre. And they create a lot of economic activity because there's a huge amount of networking and deal doing that comes out of them as well, never mind the fact that they generate revenue in and of themselves. I think clearly for airlines, I mean, we heard the news today that, of course, Flight Centre was closing 100 stores. It's really impacting all this idea of travel now, recommending Australians as well do not travel anywhere anymore out of the country unless they absolutely have to. This is all going to crimp the economy. But look, the health issues come first, and they're talking now, there's very good articles also in the US at the moment about trying to flatten this curve down so that we don't hit the health service all in one go. And if you read some of the articles that are coming out of Italy at the moment, the reason some of those that death rate is so high is partly because of the triage that they're having to make in these hospitals. And if you go to a hospital and you are in a lot of trouble, what do you need? You need a respirator. Now how many respirators? This is why the health service are saying, look, just calm it all down, slow it all down, because otherwise, you do get a really difficult situation like they're having to deal with in northern Italy at the moment.
Thank you so much for those insights, Ticky Fullerton. Thank you for joining us today.